Hi everyone, this is Anna from Koala Soap, and today I'm kind of excited. We're going to be using melt and pour soap, and we are going to make felted soap because I do so much teaching that I have all of these scraps. A couple bags of them actually, and it's just because I do a lot of experimenting before I do a video to see what works, what doesn't. So we're going to make some felted soap today. We're going to be using, we need a larger mold for this. And I'm going to be using my circle, which is 5 ounces, and this square one, which is 6.2 ounces. So those are good size soaps. I don't have a measurement for these two yet. I am working on it. So what I have is, because I need about 11.2 ounces of soap, I've gone ahead with my scale and I've measured out approximately 12 ounces. And if there's anything left, it's going right back into the bag. We're going to be using some wool that I got from Amazon. All the links are down below. So felted soap was something that was new to me, and I wasn't quite sure what it was, how it worked, etc. So basically the benefits of the felted soap are that the soap lasts longer. You can recycle your scraps, which is awesome. You may need to add more fragrance or essential oils too, as long as essential oils are skin safe, because these little scraps may or may not have it, and by the time I'm done with what I'm doing, I don't know that they're going to have the scent. So I'm going to add a little bit of extra. This particular batch is going to be for my family. So it also will exfoliate the skin gently. The felt becomes smaller with the soap. So what I've seen other people do is as the soap shrinks and it's almost down to nothing, they'll put like a couple of drops of oil on it and they'll put it into their garment drawer or something, so that it acts as like a sachet, if that's still the word for it. So one of the best things that I like is, I was doing some research on it, and the wool is naturally antimicrobial and antibacterial, so it's actually safe in the shower environment. The sheep will actually produce this on their own, and it actually will replace a washcloth. So I've only done this once or twice before, so we're going to go ahead and get started. The first thing I'm going to do is melt down the soap, and let's get it into the molds and we'll get going. Okay, and we're back. I'm going to be trying to use these gloves today because we have to use hot water. I'm trying to get used to them. So I'm going to go ahead, and I've already put some fragrance in here, and I'm going to go ahead and pour. And again, if you have a little left, then you just put it right back into your scraps. If you have some that aren't completely melted out, that's fine. Okay. Now it really doesn't matter because this will be covered up, but we're going to go ahead and squirt it with alcohol. We're just going to do our regular habits. I do have a little bit left, so what I'm going to probably do is I can just pour it in here, and then I'll pour it into the scraps later. After it dries, I'll just put it into the scraps. Okay, so we're just going to wait for this to set up, and then we'll get started. Okay, we're back, and these are now unmolded. Okay, and there you go. So if you're going to use anything, so what I like about that mold is that the corners are already rounded. If you're going to use a bar soap, let's say you have some soaps that haven't sold, or you need to, they're getting older, you want to, keep them, and you're just going to repurpose them. If they have a sharp corner, if you don't remelt them down, you're going to want to cut the corners off, because it's just easier to get the wool around. So we are going to go ahead and use this round one today, and we're going to need some mesh washcloths. I already showed you the wool. We're going to need some hot water and some cold water. So I'm going to get all of that set up. I'm not going to use gloves for this initial part because this is soap that's going to stay at home with the family. I am going to use the gloves though when I am felting, because the water is going to be really hot. So let's go ahead and start getting everything ready. Okay, so I have our wool out, and I'm going to sit here. I'm going to try and gauge how much wool I'm going to need. You don't need a lot of wool. I love this. It's really silky and soft. And so what you're going to do is you're going to separate the fibers. You're not going to cut. Do not cut the wool. And you're just going to pull gently to pull it apart to about the size that you want. Okay, and then you can separate it. kind of pull it apart there. Get this out of the way a little bit more. I got this wool because it had gradients of color that I thought were really pretty. There's other wool that you can do, and then you can actually decorate in it. And yes, we will be doing another felting video on that. So here we're going to go ahead and we're going to wrap the soap just like that. Kind of want to wrap it like it's a little gift. I think what I want is I'm going to have the end of the soap on the bottom though, so we'll put this just a little bit more over here. Wrap the ends down. Cover again, wrap the ends down. There. Okay. So if you needed more wool, what you would go ahead and do is you would take another bit and go this way. So you would cover it pretty good. So this is our wool, it's covered here. So I'm going to set this here and I'm going to go ahead and get our hot water. Okay, so I have our water pretty hot. Now, the water out of my tap wasn't getting very hot. For some reason, I think it's because everyone just went to school and took showers and everything. So I went ahead and just, I was making tea anyway, so I put water in here and I let it cool down so that it wasn't that hot. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take our mesh rag. A lot of people will use pantyhose for this, but I don't have any pantyhose. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this mesh because it also has a nice pattern on it that's gritty, so it'll help with the felting. So what you're going to do is take your gloves, make sure you have your gloves on because it's hot. You're going to dip it in. I have cold water over here in case you're wondering what that is. And if this gets cool, then you can either put it in the microwave or you can just put some more hot water from your kettle on there. So I went ahead and I got it wet, I squeezed it down, and then I'm going to make sure that we're good here. And now I'm going to cover it up again, just like this. There, so it's like a little purse. Dip it, and then I'm going to just start rubbing. This friction helps with the felting, and I start with hot water. So I'm going to do the bottom of the soap first. And if it gets too lathery, this is why you want to use a bigger bar, by the way. If you use our little 6-cavity pink mold, you kind of, the soap bar will be smaller. I don't know how much smaller by the time you're done with your felting. So that's why I like these bars here, because they're bigger and thicker. If it gets too soapy, you can also dip it in there. But so a lot of people will use like a bamboo or a sushi mat and they will rub it like this, but I figured why don't we just get this material, get rid of the pantyhose, and use this as the friction. Okay, and at this point I'll speed up the camera so you don't have to watch me doing this. This is going to take probably about 10 minutes. We'll see, it might take longer. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to see if we can pick up any of the fibers easily, and we can a little bit here, so we're going to go ahead and felt a little bit more. Okay, so I'm not really picking up any fibers. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move this to the side here. I'm going to take my cold water and I'm going to dip it in. Kind of squeeze all the soap out, make sure everything is pretty set there. Give it a little bit of a rub. Now when you first start felting, because this wool is so soft, sometimes it might get stuck in this mesh here, like there's some old pieces right here that got stuck. That's fine, just pull it off and keep going. Your soap should be dry for about 24 hours before you start the felting. So let's see that pull it a little bit off here, so we'll just keep doing it here. I'm trying to see if I can pick up any fibers, and I can't. So I'm just trying to make sure it's kind of settled down there. What I'm going to do is, you don't really want to put it on a mat to dry because there's still all the wool here. So what I do is I put it on a drying rack, and basically it's just a little rack I took out of my oven. So hold on for a second, I'll grab that for you. So it just is basically a rack that you can put bath bombs on, or even your other soaps on, and you're going to go ahead and let that dry. I'll get a paper towel and I will show you how we get the suds off the top. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this, clean up a little bit, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now we have our drying rack here, and this is how I'm going to let it stay for about, it dries out pretty, well, if you put it outside, it'll dry out a lot faster. We're really cold here today, so I'm not going to do that. In my luck, it'll start raining. And what I kind of do is I'll just dab it, get any suds off here. And so we'll go ahead and we'll let this sit and dry out, and we'll be back. Okay, and we're back. So this is the soap. It is completed. It's very nice. It smells wonderful. So we actually did a project a little bit ago, because since this one's different colors and it's darker, I didn't put a design on it, but you can. I actually ordered this kit from Amazon, and the issue was the wool pieces are small. You can see that as compared to the big bag of the other wool. It's still good, and we did an experiment. Now this is not this is just an experiment, but we used different colors of wool. We used the ugliest colors really right now because we just kind of wanted to see how it looked. You would actually have to use maybe 2 of the colors to cover, but then we started felting a design in. Now again, this is just all an experiment. I have some white wool coming so that we can put a design on top, because my daughter seems to have really taken to this and she really likes it. But basically this is felted soap, and it's a really great way to make sure that none of your soap or soap scraps go to waste. Okay guys, I hope you really like this. Please let me know if you'd like to see more felting. I am going to do probably 1 or 2 more felting videos, but if you guys really like it, we will experiment and do a little bit more, because this is a good way to step outside of the box for your melt and pour soaps for gifts or your business. Okay, please don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Join our mailing list. I'm going to be giving away another mold, so you have to go to our website and just join the mailing list. The links are all down below. And we will see you later. This is Anna from Koala Soap. Have a great day.